Welcome to Legal 123s with ByrdAdatto. Legal issues simplified through real client stories and real-world experiences. Creating simplicity in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Season 13 preview of the Legal 123s with ByrdAdatto. I'm your host, ByrdAdatto, with my co-host, Michael Byrd. And everyone out there in podcast show world, happy belated July 4th weekend.
Brad, we finally are at a season that's on par with our maturity. It's amazing. But let's pause for a moment and reflect on completing season 12. It was a fun season, full mostly with interviews with clients and industry leaders as to what's happening in the M&A market. We did sprinkle in a few stories of our own.
Yes, Michael, we actually completed last season's podcast theme, The Hitchhiker's Guide to M&A. We had a ton of fun, including an opening the season with our second live podcast, this time from Dallas, Texas.
That was a blast. We had our friend Robin Pugh on in front of a live audience. It was great, and I'm actually pretty proud of you, Brad. You behaved yourself in front of the live audience for the most part.
Yeah, I was trying to be a good host that day, but Michael, the majority of their audience, there's a lot of things that we've given them in this M&A season. What was a big takeaway you had from this season of the Hitchhiker's Guide of last season's The Hitchhiker's Guide to M&A?
Well, I'm a context guy, and so the big picture. I mean, I think the thing that became reinforced to me over and over again is how every season of a business affects your M&A deal. Mm-hmm. And that was our premise as we went into the season, that only got strengthened as we were listening to our different experts talking about how important decisions that you make in the building season when you're setting your infrastructure together, how that impacts your M&A deal, what happens in the operating season or the scaling season. And so that really kind of deepened my belief in how important it is to be talking about those things with our clients, no matter what season they're in.
Well said. And, Michael, generally in these previews, I ask you what was your favorite show of a particular season, but audience members, you guys have spoken and we have listened. And so far we've had, the top 5, according to you guys, is the number 1, Buying a Medical Practice with Rachel Walker. That was a good one. Number 2, the due diligence phase, why compliance matters in M&A. Number 3, quality of earnings analysis in M&A with Ben Hernandez. I think Ben has QOV tattooed on his bicep, by the way. And the live show, as we talked about earlier, the importance of leadership in scaling and selling with our good friend and guest, Robin Pugh. And finally, last but certainly not least, M&A mistakes and how to avoid them. So that was the 5 that you, the audience, seemed to like the most.
Those were all good ones, and I'm mostly glad that you're not making me pick a favorite.
Yes. Well, next year we're launching our newest season. Our next season is about to be launched. And Michael, what do we have planned for season 13, aka the lucky season?
I'm really excited for the season ahead. I think that we should just turn in to our 13-year-old boy selves to celebrate all throughout.
Yes.
Riley's shaking her head no, I think. Okay.
We might have to ask her to leave the room for this entire season.
Okay. We'll have to think about that. But this season, on the adulting side of it, we get to focus on the high stakes implications of a fake or real scenario.
Oh.
The theme is fake or real. We will be story heavy this season, and we're going to take different, quote, truths, and using the air quotes, Brad,
air quotes there, people,
that we hear from our clients, and we're going to either prove them as true or prove them as myths.
There you go. I love it. Well, and we have got another amazing lineup for you guys this year, this season, and everything from the FTC ban on non-competes to physicians and their relationships with MSOs, NPs and PAs, independents, all around whether or not it's fake and real.
And we have a series regular, Jay Riero, on again this season. We have Dr. Jeff Siegel, another partner, on again this year to discuss negative patient reviews. And we will actually have a returning guest, and Dr. Jonathan Kaplan, to talk about the weight loss drugs, Ozempic and Wegovy, and the whole semi-glutide frenzy.
Yeah, and we also have Michael J. Riero on this season a few times.
Brad, I've already said that.
Well, I know, but he's on more than once, so I figured he needed more than one hat tip.
Oh, okay. Well, you can, I guess, permission granted.
Actually,
We'll continue. We continue to be so amazed and grateful for the feedback we get from our loyal listeners, and just for showing up and listening on a weekly basis. We really appreciate it. And appreciate all the times that you share our content with others. The 5-star ratings mean the world to us, and we're just really grateful.
Yes, so we look forward to catching up with the season 13 opener on July 12th as we explore Fake or Real. ChatGPT can now effectively draft my contracts. Until then, enjoy the rest of the week.
ByrdAdatto is providing this podcast as a public service. This podcast is for educational purposes only. This podcast does not constitute legal advice, nor does it establish an attorney-client relationship. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by ByrdAdatto. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. Please consult with an attorney on your legal issues.